Welcome back to another episode of Mystery Tales from the Heart of India. And today, I want you to picture this, the mist-covered hills of Assam, where ancient forests whisper secrets and clouds dance between emerald valleys. Hidden in these mystical landscapes lies a small village that has baffled scientists, birders, and superstition chasers for over a century. In this village, something happens every year that defies everything we know about nature. Between September and November, when monsoon fog rolls in and moonless nights blanket the earth, hundreds of birds descend from the dark skies, not to nest or rest, but to die. They fly directly into lights, crash into buildings, and plummet to the ground, as if lured by some invisible force. Local tribes once believed these were spirits of the dead returning to terrorize the living. Scientists have spent decades trying to solve this puzzle, launching nightly stakeouts, deploying cutting-edge sensors, and even enlisting the world's top ornithologists, yet the mystery only deepens. Welcome to Jatinga, where birds forget how to fly, and death falls from the sky like rain. This is the chilling story of nature's most baffling phenomenon, where an entire ecosystem seems to break its own rules. About 330 kilometers south of Guwahati, nestled in the remote Dima Hasao district, lies the village of Jatinga, surrounded by the majestic Bareil Hills. The settlement perches at 730 meters above sea level on a narrow ridgeline just 1.5 kilometers long and 200 meters wide. By day, it looks like paradise. Emerald valleys unfold beneath you. Bamboo forests sway in warm breezes, and rivers carve silver threads through the dense forest. Colorful orchids cling to rocky outcrops, and rare butterflies flit between dewdrops on ferns. The word Jatinga in the local dialect means pathway of rain, a fitting name for a place defined by monsoon mists. But this tranquil beauty hides one of nature's darkest secrets, a nightmare whispered only after sundown. The phenomenon was first recorded in 1910, when a group of Zim, Naga hunters, ventured into these hills, searching for a lost buffalo. Armed only with bamboo torches to light their way through the impenetrable fog, they had no idea they were about to witness something that would haunt them for the rest of their lives. As they reached the ridgeline around 9 p.m., they saw what looked like shadows dancing in the torchlight. Suddenly, a flock of birds burst from the darkness, shrieking and diving into their flames. Feathers caught fire, bodies tumbled to the ground in flames, and the air filled with the thud of wings ending in bone-crushing impacts. The hunters fled in terror, convinced the flames had summoned vengeful spirits of the jungle. They sold their land at a pittance and abandoned Jatinga forever, leaving behind their torches and buffalo cries. When the Christian Jainsha tribespeople moved in, they had a different reaction. To them, these dying birds were a providential gift meat delivered to their doorsteps during harsh winter months when game was scarce. They fashioned bamboo poles and nets to capture the dazed survivors, cooking them over communal fires. Until the 1950s, this seasonal slaughter continued unabated, with thousands of birds killed each year. It wasn't until 1957 that British ornithologist EPG documented the phenomenon in his landmark book Wildlife of India, bringing world attention to Jatinga, invited India's birdman Salim Ali to witness it firsthand. When Salim Ali arrived during monsoon season, he watched in stunned silence as juvenile bitterns, pittis, and doves swirled around lanterns before plummeting to their deaths. "I have studied avian behavior all my life," he later wrote, "but nothing prepared me for this grotesque ballet of death." What makes Jatinga's phenomenon so chilling is its razor-sharp precision. It happens exclusively between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. on nights. When the sky is moonless, thick with fog, and winds blow from the southwest to the northeast, move half a kilometer off the ridge, and you'll never see a single bird. No other spot, not even several kilometers away, experiences anything similar. Over 44 species have been recorded as victims, including tiger bitterns, black bitterns, pond herons, Indian pittis, common kingfishers, hill partridges, green pigeons, emerald doves, and black drongos. Yet these are diurnal birds creatures that should be roosting rather than flying at night. The victims are overwhelmingly juveniles from the current year's brood, suggesting that inexperience makes them especially vulnerable to whatever force draws them to Jatinga's lights. Eyewitnesses paint a harrowing scene. The air alive with fluttering wings, a soft whir of feathers, and the sudden, sickening crack of impact as a bird slams into a tin roof or shatters against a wall. Some survivors flutter weakly around lamps, eyes glazed, wings dropping in exhaustion. Others topple motionless into muddy puddles, their lifeblood mixing with rainwater. Those who remain alive often lie paralyzed for hours, refusing water or food until shock or hypothermia finishes them off. Scientists have proposed a deadly cocktail of causes. During the monsoon, torrential floods drive birds from their lowland habitats, forcing them to seek higher ground. As they migrate through Jatinga, dense fog and high-speed winds refract village lights into optical illusions that confuse their magnetic navigation systems. They mistake lamps for stars or reflectors of the moon, flying straight into the heart of the village. The valley's unique geology at the junction of three geological fault lines may create magnetic anomalies when monsoon waters seep deep underground, disrupting avian compasses. Static-charged fog could generate atmospheric electric fields that scramble these creatures' innate navigation. Each theory explains fragments of the phenomenon, yet none account for why this same narrow ridge, under these exact conditions, becomes a death trap, while identical hillsides remain untouched.
Wow.
Recent years have added even more chilling twists. Medical volunteers report villagers suffering dizziness, nausea, and vivid hallucinations after nights spent on the ridge, as if the same force that disorients the birds seeps into human minds. Local shaman Riwang Marak insists. Nightly rituals burning juniper incense and chanting ancient hymn scans soften the valley's heart, temporarily reducing casualties near the temple. Even some scientists admit that crash counts dip slightly when these ceremonies occur, though they chalk it up to chance. In the early 1980s, Dr. Sudhir Sangupta of the Zoological Survey of India spent several seasons camping on the ridge, equipped with geomagnetic sensors and weather instruments. He observed that when the soil became saturated, subtle shifts in magnetic field strength occurred, coinciding with peak bird crashes. Dr. Sangupta proposed that these magnetic anomalies scramble the birds' sixth sense, leaving them blind to true north and drawn instead toward artificial lights. His findings, later corroborated by the Indian Institute of Geomagnetism, provided the first scientific foothold in this mystery. Yet even he admitted that magnetic disturbances alone couldn't explain the perfectly timed choreography of falling birds. Other researchers have highlighted the role of atmospheric electricity. Monsoon fogs carry vast amounts of static charge. As cloud cover thickens, electrical fields build between the ground and the sky. Birds, sensitive to electric fields through specialized receptors on their beaks, may interpret these fields as signals to fly toward light. In laboratory experiments, pigeons exposed to artificially generated electric fields exhibited the same disoriented flight patterns seen in Jatinga's ridge. Still, replicating Jatinga's exact mix of fog density, wind speed, magnetic anomaly, and darkness in a lab has proven impossible. As technology advanced, Jatinga transformed from a kill zone into a living laboratory and sanctuary. Conservationists educated villagers on the importance of allowing stunned birds to recover rather than killing them. Today, locals gently guide dazed birds into bamboo cages stocked with water and fruit until they regain strength. The annual bird festival, organized by the Dima Hasao Tourism Committee, celebrates these avian visitors, once feared, now revered. Ornithologists from the Zoological Survey of India, the Indian Institute of Geomagnetism, and foreign universities set up magnetic sensors, thermal cameras, and night vision scopes along the ridge, painstakingly cataloging each crash. Satellite-tagged survivors have provided startling revelations. Some birds carry injuries, but survive to complete their migration, hinting that the Jatinga ordeal may leave lasting imprints, physical and perhaps behavioral, on their journeys. Botanists, meanwhile, discovered that Jatinga's unique combination of altitude, soil composition, and microclimate fosters rare medicinal plants found nowhere else in Assam. Botanical surveys uncovered species used by local tribes for centuries to treat fevers, insect bites, and digestive ailments. The very factors that doom the bird's fog, soil moisture, magnetic fluctuations, also nurtured this botanical treasure trove, underscoring the valley's ecological significance. Recently, drone surveys have unveiled another layer of mystery. Infrared footage shows ghostly glows, emanating from the valley floor seconds before the first birds descend, as if some hidden source of light is blinking on and off beneath the mist. Local farmer Nabin Lal recounts clearing fields by the ridge at dawn to find phosphorescent fungi clinging to fallen logs, glittering like tiny lanterns in the undergrowth. Could these natural bioluminescent flashes be luring birds closer to the ground before they even see the village lamps? Or is this yet another clue in a puzzle that fights definition? Paranormal investigators have also weighed in. Some claim that on nights when the bird crashes peak, electronic devices, radios, watches, even torches malfunction without warning. One team recorded odd low-frequency hums and whispers on their audio gear during a crash event, though playback revealed no human voices. Shamans from neighboring villages insist these birds are the souls of those who died unjustly, bound to do penance each monsoon until the world acknowledges their plight. Yet even as our scientific toolkit expands, the core mystery deepens. Why do birds, creatures evolved over eons to master the skies, forget their most basic survival instinct here? Why do they heed village lamps over the safety of trees? Why are only certain species and mostly juveniles victimized? And why, with metronomic regularity, does this seasonal horror repeat year after year, decade after decade? Perhaps some mysteries exist not for us to solve, but to remind us of nature's sovereignty, forces so vast, so intricate, they defy human reason and demand our awe. Jatinga stands as a testament to the limits of scientific mastery and a challenge to our assumptions about animal behavior. It forces us to confront the possibility that the natural world still holds secrets beyond our grasp, waiting for curious minds and open hearts to seek them. So, would you dare to stand on Jatinga's ridge on a moonless monsoon night? Flashlight trembling in your hand as the first bird crashes at your feet, its feathers scattered like omens across the path? Would you risk witnessing death raining from the sky, even once? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this journey stirred your wonder, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell, because next time we'll venture into another corner of India where the natural world reveals its darkest, most thrilling secrets. Until then, stay curious, stay vigilant, and remember, sometimes survival itself is the greatest mystery.